Math Learning. This is Madhuri. In this video, I am going to discuss important theorem. Before going to the theorem, let us discuss some of the definitions based on this theorem. So, first definition, partition. In a closed interval a comma b, if a equals to x naught less than x1 less than x2, so on up to less than xn equals to b, then the finite set p, p equals to x naught comma x1 comma x2 comma so on up to xn is called a partition of AB. So this finite set p equals to x naught comma x1 comma x2 so on up to xn, this is the partition of closed interval a comma b. So this is called as the partition. Going to next definition, norm. The maximum length of subinterval of a partition P is called a norm of the partition. So in this given set, what is the maximum number here? 2. So here how we can denote norm? It is denoted by, here partition means P. It is denoted by norm P. So here norm P equals to what is the maximum length of this set? 2. So this is the norm. Norm P equals to 2. Next, tag of a subinterval. If a point Ti has been selected from each subinterval, so here this point Ti is selected from each subinterval, capital I suffix small I, where I equals to, where small I equals to, what is small I here? 1 comma 2 comma so on up to n. Then the points T1 comma T2 so on up to T are termed as tags. So these points are termed as tags. What are tags here? If a point Ti has been selected from each subinterval, here we are selecting a point Ti from each subinterval. What is the subinterval here? Capital I suffix small I, where small I equals to 1, 2, so on up to n. Then the points T1 comma T2 comma so on up to T are termed as, these points are termed as tags. Now next, Riemann integral. A function f mapping a comma b to r is said to be Riemann integrable. Interval over the closed interval a comma b. When we can say that it is a function is Riemann integrable, if there exists a number. What is the number here? If there exists a number L which belongs to R for all epsilon greater than 0 and del E greater than 0, then of S of f comma p minus L less than epsilon, where L means here Riemann integrable. This L is known as Riemann integrable. Then L equals to R into integral a to b f of x dx, and norm p should be less than del E. So here when do we say the function is a Riemann integrable means if there exists a number L, this is a number L which belongs to R for all epsilon greater than 0. Epsilon should be greater than 0 and del E also should be greater than 0. Then mod S of f comma p minus L should be less than epsilon. Here this L is known as Riemann integrable, where L equals to R into integral a to b f of x dx, and norm p should be less than del E. Now Riemann integrable can be presented as R of a comma b. How we can represent the Riemann integrable? R of a comma b. Let us discuss important theorem. So state and prove fundamental theorem of calculus. So here statement is, if a function f is continuous and differentiable. If a function f, this function f is continuous and differentiable on interval a comma b. So this function is continuous and differentiable on interval a comma b. And if f is integrable on a comma b, then prove that integral a to b f of x dx equals to capital F of b minus capital F of a. So this is the statement. So function f is continuous and differentiable on this interval a comma b, and if it is integrable on a comma b. Then what we have to prove here? Integral a to b f of x dx equals to capital F of b minus capital F of a. So here proof, coming to proof, given. What is the integral given here? Integral a to b f of x dx. This is the integral given. Now let p be the partition on interval a comma b such that if p is partition, means how we can write here? P equals to on a comma b. It is a partition on a comma b. So p equals to a comma x1 comma x2 comma so on up to xi minus 1 comma xi plus 1 so on up to b. As f is integrable on a comma b, then u of f comma p minus L of f comma b should be less than epsilon. If this f is integrable on a comma b, then u of f comma p minus L of f comma p should be less than epsilon. So that is upper bound of the function f comma p minus lower bound of the function f comma b, which should be less than the epsilon. So now as the function capital F is differentiable, as this function f capital F is differentiable, then for every alpha I there exists del xi. According to mean value theorem, capital F of xi minus capital F of xi minus 1 equals to f dash of alpha I into del xi. So this is according to the mean value theorem. Now according to fundamental theorem of calculus. Now according to this fundamental theorem of calculus, del f dash of alpha I equals to small f of alpha I. This is according to fundamental theorem of calculus. Now capital F of xi minus capital F of xi minus 1 equals to, so according to this mean value theorem, in the place of capital F dash of alpha I, what we are substituting here? Capital F dash of alpha I equals to small f of alpha I into del xi as it is. Now applying summation on both the sides. Now we have to apply summation on both the sides. Now here we are shifting LHS to RHS and RHS to LHS. So summation small f of alpha I into del xi equals to summation capital F of xi minus capital F of xi minus 1. The summation f of alpha I into del I we are considering as the lower bound. Even after multiplying this with the lower bound, it cannot exceed the upper bound. So therefore L of f comma p into summation I equals to 1 to 1 small f of alpha I into del xi less than or equals to u of f comma p. As we discussed earlier, the partition is on the closed interval a comma b. So that is equals to, so here partition is on the interval closed interval a comma b. So here upper bound is b. This is the upper bound. Lower bound is a. So a is the lower bound. That is equals to capital F of b minus capital F of a. That is equals to capital F of b minus capital F of a. That is L of f comma b into integral a to b f of x dx should be less than or equals to u of f comma p. So from the definition of Riemann integral, mod summation I equals to 1 to n f of small f of alpha into del xi minus integral a to b. So integral a to b f of x dx should be less than epsilon. That implies, so in the place of this summation I equals to 1 to n f of alpha into del I, what we can write here? Capital F of b minus capital F of a minus integral a to b f of x dx as it is, which is less than epsilon. After removing the mod, capital F of b minus capital F of a minus integral a to b f of x dx equals to 0. Therefore, this can be written as integral a to b f of x dx equals to, now this will come this side, this capital F of b minus capital F of a. As we have proved fundamental theorem of calculus.